Alright, turn 81. So, Satis is indeed striking back. He's gathered a pretty significant underwater army here in Lake Fortune, actually. Sea Trolls, Crab Generals, Triton Commanders, Shark Tribe, Shrimp Soldiers. This is just random chaff that he had around. He did take the province, but my counterstroke is coming in. So I've got a couple of Sea Kings coming in, and I have Zeren casting Will of the Fates. Anti-magic Will of the Fates, and then spamming Enslave Mind. So that will give all of my guys luck, which should turn the tide, especially because I can, of course, spam out water elementals myself. I'm summoning water power, then I'm actually casting Living Water. Living Water makes water elementals that are quite a bit weaker than full-size water elementals, because they're only size 4 instead of size 6. But having more of them just means that Will of the Fates will be more effective, because of course, Will of the Fates works by giving people luck, so a 75% chance to not die when they would otherwise die. That's a pretty big deal, to be honest. And of course we have the Sea Trolls and Troll Guards with their underwater regeneration, a total of 20%. The Sea Kings have 25%. I could actually thug out these Sea Kings somewhat, but not really gonna bother. They're just spamming Living Water, so Zorkoman needs that same order. So let's make that 5 and 5. So yeah. And Living Water summons 4+1 for every additional level. If I look at the spells here, Living Water requires Water 4. So Zarkomand, when casting it, will actually be level 6, which means he'll be summoning 6 lesser water elementals every time he casts it. Those kinds of numbers should overwhelm the opposition, I think. Because he'll get 6 out, and he'll get 5 out. Casting time 150%, 100%, so 250% total casting time. Anti-Magic has 150% casting time, and then Will of the Fates has 225%. So this is over 300% total casting time. It'll hit those first casts of lesser water elementals. I think, plus it will also hit, of course, the Kydnids, however you want to pronounce it, and the Trolls, and some Great Sentries that I'm bringing down with me as well. So I think that should be good enough. I can't bring any of these Great Sentries down underwater with me, unfortunately. I don't have any of the items. But Zeren will just do that. I think I should win. I think I should win even if he sends out Bethuzma, and I don't think he's going to send out Bethuzma, because Bethuzma is, I'm confident, the one holding up Maelstrom, which he has recast. So Bethuzma has to stay safe. Bethuzma is summoning water elementals. I don't think Bethuzma is coming out. Limni, I happen to know, is here. Karine was right here. Lothric just won a battle, albeit at great cost. I don't know where she went, but I would anticipate that Limni's not dead, because she wasn't killed in the battle. I'm not going to watch all the battles, by the way. We can watch some of this battle here real quick. But Lothric was breaking out of being besieged. Has a whole bunch of sprites, a whole bunch of archive scholars, a lot of crossbows, against a large army, albeit one without a whole lot of magic support. They did drop Thunderfend. They had Nepheli, the Queen of Clouds, with significant protection on, and they're spamming their National Lightning Damage spell. Like, spamming it a lot. So that Shock Resist, I think, is doing good work for them. They've also summoning Air Elementals, but Air Elementals against Shock-resistant foes are a lot less efficient than they could be. We've also got Fog Warriors going down. We have a Howl, we have Storm, and here we have Limni, the Queen of the Lake, still geared in her super combatant kit. Funnily enough, Limni could actually probably be beaten by water elementals. Now she does have damage resistance, 50% regeneration, and 65 hit points. Actually, I take it back. You would have to hit her with magic, preferably untyped magic damage. The easiest way to kill her would probably be Banefire. But I don't think anyone in the game can actually nationally cast Banefire unless they summon the King of Banefires. So, yeah, Limni is actually quite well protected. I take it back, because with the damage resistance plus the 50% regeneration, you have to do over 32 points of damage to her past her protection and past that resistance before she even actually takes any damage. You could get a counter thug to 1 round kill her, though. You could get a guy with, like, a Gate Cleaver, Boots of Quickness, and like a pendant of luck or something to stop him from being killed by the firebrand, who could fly in and get those 2 gate cleaver hits, as long as he had a really high attack skill. So you'd probably also have to give him a burning pearl and a ring of the warrior. That would take away the pendant of luck, though. So yeah, it's a little bit tough, to be honest. You could gear some people to kill her, but it would take an investment. It would take a real significant investment. In any case, lots more of those lightning bolts flying across the way. The Fog Warriors is working, like it's helping a lot, but I think Satis's troops just end up getting worn down here as they're coming in. A lot of nether darts spam, which feeble-minds people. Interesting. Yeah, so a lot of these guys are ending up feeble-minded. And that's an interesting counter to super combatants as well. But yeah, it looks like the Elemental Queens, yep, Nephili, the Queen of the Clouds, has gotten involved. She is actually diseased now, which is horrendous and also hilarious. However, she does regenerate from the Ring of Regeneration, so she won't die of it. Nephili might go down here. Her stats are quite a bit lower. She hasn't been geared nearly as well for super combatant work, which makes me wonder why she's out here in the front line. A little bit silly. We now have a Fog Warriors on Lothric's army. A little bit late, but it is there. And I think Satis is just going to end up HP routing. However, I think these guys are in a communion. High Priestess, yes. The Archive Scholars were in communion, and it looks like they killed off their communion slaves. Those were the casualties that I saw. Okay, so Lothric killed off their own communion slaves, but I think they've won the battle. The armies of Satis are routed. Limni is running. Limni has been blinded. Interesting. Oh, so her stats are quite low now. And that is it. Okay, so Satis won. I'm sorry, Lothric won. Lost 4 Archive Scholars out of 22. Wow. And just about 40 other units. Satis lost a lot more units, but only 2 mages, 2 Marshmasters. So in terms of mages, they lost a little bit less. But still, I think I would call that a win. Lots of unexpected events. I do have a plague cult in Inarime, which honestly doesn't bother me all that much, to be perfectly frank. I also was attacked by a lumberman in Ial. A lumber construct. You can see here how ungeared lumber constructs just kind of suck. I love giving lumber constructs stupid levels of gear to make them hilarious super combatants, but without gear, they're pretty terrible. And especially because the ritual summons them as troops as opposed to commanders. If it summoned them as commanders, they'd be pretty sweet, but as troops, they're just, boy, no. Not worth it at all. Maybe if they were 1 gem. I was attacked by brigands in Rim Mountains and lost the province, as happens. We have breached the fortress in Andoria. So we could charge in and try to take the place. He's got enough mage power right here to stop me. But if I don't teleport mages into support, you lot should be breaching. And you should have a skull. I've summoned a new Hollow Knight here, of course. What the hell. I'll go in and storm the castle. Might as well. He might be distracted. Who knows? Against a Wraith Lord, storming the castle would be very unwise, because that Wraith Lord would absolutely bone me. But I think I might be able to take this fort. If not, all I've lost is about 150 Flying Bros, and Flying Bros are honestly easy to replace. Case in point. We will, however, cancel these guys in favor of Mountain Shimons. Cancel those guys. Actually, I don't need to cancel those guys, do I? Yeah, by all means, just churn them on out. Yellick is hearing my dreams. Unfortunately. So, I have recast Arcane Nexus. So, Arcane Nexus is back up. It will start sucking in more gems in the coming turn. It's put a delay on my timing, but it's, it's happening properly. We're just researching over here for right now. I don't necessarily need to be doing that. I could be moving out. I would really like Bugsy Siegel not to be so fucking slow. I would really like that. But because he's crippled, his map move is minus 75%, so even giving him gear won't actually speed him up. So in order to move fast, he now has to teleport. We're collapsing troops onto Arcatus, because these Marshmasters are up here and could attack us in Underspring. So lots and lots of troops hitting Arcatus. should be able to knock the walls down, I think, because I've got quite a few flyers here, and Archytas doesn't have a whole lot of defense. So we've got 90 siege strength there. These guys have pretty much negligible siege strength, but we've got a lot of siege strength here. Londo can Londo reach? Londo can reach. So Londo can also join the party, and I could... Why are you carrying a skull staff? The world may never know. I could actually send the army along with Ayala. Tell you what, let's bring Ayala just to cast Fog Warriors on us. How about we alchemize some Earth Gems into more Air Gems? And then you can cast Fog Warriors. I actually have the research to cast Gale Gate, which would be fantastic. But I just don't have the gems for it, so I would have to alchemize, and all of the global enchantment slots are full, so it's going to take a little bit of prep. For right now, we'll just give her these air gems and script her to cast Fog Warriors. Come on, yep, there's a million mages here, I know. Cast Fog Warriors, that one, and then just cast spells with conservative magic gem usage. Yeah, that should be fine. So, and you can be back there. And we'll have all these troops around here, so we should be able to take the fort pretty easily. I'm actually not going to bring Hope Void. Hope Void is going to stay here and research, because, of course, I eventually want to use him to cast some really higher level death spells. I could use him to cast I need to forge him another booster item so that I can then cast Well of Misery, or I could just use him to start spamming out liches. That's also an option. I have to think about that one. My death income is pretty good, so I could get up to a competitive Well of Misery pretty quickly, especially because I can knock down Lothrix. But knocking down, as I said before, knocking down Well of Misery would be kind of a declaration of war on Lothric, and I don't necessarily want to declare war on Lothric right now. So I think instead, Hope Void is going to begin multiplying my death usefulness by summoning liches. He'll be able to summon a lich this turn, he'll be able to summon a lich next turn, he'll be able to summon a lich the turn after that. So that'll be 3 pretty high-level death casters. My other option would be to use him to start summoning Mound Fiends, which are cheaper. So I could probably go 5 or 6 turns summoning Mound Fiends steadily, and then use them to start churning out undead. Free spawn undead, that is. But I don't know that that's super high value at the moment, especially since we've moved into very, very late game magic. In any case, let's just see what the future brings. These guys are going to move back up here. We're preaching in an effort to try and get Satis's Dominion fucking off me. I need 1 more temple in order to boost my Dominion spread chance to 95%. So where am I spending money that I could not be spending? Why don't I cancel those guys real quick and have you build a temple? There we go. That'll push my Dominion spread up to 95%. It'll be great. The kids love it. And, while I'm thinking about it, let's get Haerdalas to go take that province back. And Theok can jump up here to bring some supplies. He has a bag, that's fine. Bugsy Seagull is actually Death 2, which is kind of interesting, but Bugsy Seagull is just going to sit here researching right now. We'll give all these archers to Alphys, and Alphys can patrol with them. And yeah, all these troops will just move over here. We've got a couple of guys regenerating through diseases that I can cure at some point. Because you can cure diseases, can't you? No, it requires N4. You cannot cure diseases. What did I just have you doing? Oh, that's right, building a temple. I'm sorry, I'm dumb sometimes. Okay, so that's the turn. Like I said, we should be getting some good dividends from that Arcane Nexus once again next turn. It's up more powerfully than it ever was. I don't think anyone else can knock it down right now, but we'll just see. And as we get more gems up, we'll start wishing with Bugsy Seagull again, and start accomplishing some good stuff. So, thanks for watching. See y'all in turn 82. Now, for reference, I've been talking with Haerdalas because, to be honest, this game, as I've said, has gone on for a long time, and there's no clear winner anywhere nearby right now. So, Haerdalas has expressed that he doesn't really like the idea of just calling it a draw. Personally, I kind of like that idea. When games drag on too long to be fun anymore, I would prefer that, actually. And this game hasn't reached that point yet, but it's getting there. It's starting to get there. So, we may at some point just kind of have to end the game, instead of running all the way to victory. I've been double-checking. I don't think there is actually a Cataclysm activated in this game. So I think this game could theoretically just go on forever, which, personally, sounds like hell to me. It's always fun to play around in this late game Dominions for a little while, but I would much prefer if someone just won. Now, obviously, I'm not going to throw the game. I'm not going to just let somebody win. But I would prefer it if somebody did. I don't know. And I think, to be honest, I think in order for me to have a shot at winning, the game would have to run at least another 20 or 30 turns, because I would have to get the infinite gems online, start wishing for Armageddon, all that kind of shit, and I think that would take me a little bit more time. And I'm not sure I'm gonna be like up to play that long, man. I get tired. I just get tired of shit sometimes. So we'll see how it goes. In any case, thanks for watching. See you in turn 82. Okay, it's turn 82. I'm a little under the weather. I've actually already had an extension on this turn. I don't really want another one. I'm not entirely sure what to do right now, to be honest. My Arcane Nexus was dispelled again. I had not honestly anticipated that. That's a lot of investment. That's, you know, for how much I overcast it by, that's well over 100 gems in a dispel, twice in 3 turns. So that, to me, is a sign of very, very significant coordination on the parts of the other players to do what they probably should have done a while ago, which is make sure that the Arcane Nexus stays down. Now, the way for me to counter that is to build up an absolutely unfathomable number of Astral Pearls and recast it so hard that it's just impossible to knock down. That will take a long time, because my Astral Pearl income is actually only 19 a month. I could alchemize for it. Of course, that means that I'm only getting my other gems at half efficiency. It ends up being super, super expensive. Now, Arcane Nexus is actually a spell that's worth doing that for, just because it generates so many gems per turn. I mean, even if I have it up for... If it's generating 50 to 100 gems per turn, which is what it was doing, then having it up even for only a few turns pays off, even if you overcast it with 500 gems. But as late in the game as it is, I'm not entirely certain it's worth it. Now, the tricky bit here is, I'm sure that the 2 players who would have contributed to that are Lothric and Satis. Satis is still making a lot more gems than I am every turn. So the other way to counteract this, as it were, especially because now I have no gem gens. The enemies have plenty of gem gens, but I have none. I'm actually going to cast Stellar Focus, just minimum. I'll get a bunch of overcast from it. It'll increase my Astral Pearl income by 5. It'll occupy the last slot. It'll be fine. But if I want to not have this happen to me again and again and again, then what I have to do is I have to go in hard against Satis, who I know has by far the highest gem income, and really knock him down. Now, this is why a lot of the things that I did with my Astral Pearls earlier in this game were relatively inefficient, and this is why you typically don't do those things, because even if you have a ton of pearls, if I had hoarded Astral Pearls, like, a lot, then I could, at this moment, be in a situation where I could be like, oh, they dispelled it, I guess I'll cast it again. Oh, they dispelled it, I guess I'll cast it again. Oh, they dispelled it, I guess I'll cast it again. Because if I hadn't been, like, summoning Ether Warriors and stuff like that, and spamming out the arcane probing or whatever it is, the spell that fully sight searches a province for almost no return. If I hadn't been doing that, then I could have, like, another 150 gems in stock. And I could have either cast it again, or I could have just overcast it by like 400 gems. But I didn't do that, so here we are. Like I said, I don't know if this game's gonna go the distance, quote unquote. Personally, I would probably like it to not, but what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try and take Underspring. Underspring has pearls, and it has death income. Two death gems. So basically taking Satis's provinces that generate a lot of gems is how I alter the balance of power here. This army is quite strong. It is suffering from disease to a very significant extent, because that's what happens when you invade Satis. But it can go at least a little bit further before disease cripples it, and it has enough siege strength to bust down forts in one turn. Pretty much no matter what fort it is. And as long as I keep him from... this army is also very, very good at killing super combatants. Because it contains these Ether Warriors. Like, I don't honestly regret summoning the Ether Warriors just because they are decent counters to stuff. But it contains the Ether Warriors, it contains a couple of thugs of my own, it contains several of my Hollow Knights. My Hollow Knights are diseased, so they are going to die, because, of course, that Affliction Resistance 100 doesn't actually work. So, that's unfortunate. It also contains Aella, the Queen of Storms. Now, funnily enough, the Queen of Storms actually can get a disease. So, probably going to pull her out in a little bit here, but especially because I do need, what's the word? I need to get a Nature 4 mage, so I need you to have that, and then I also need you to have a ring. Leper Love, take that Ring of Sorcery off, give it to Monomon. There, so now Monomon should be able to forge the Moonvine Bracelet, which gives you a nature magic buff. Or actually, no, I don't even need that. I can just use the Thistle Mace and the ring. So we're gonna get Frataborn right up here. And Frataborn, I'll give him those bonus items, and then he'll be able to use nature gems to heal people of diseases who I don't want to die. And that basically means Soul Twisters, potentially my Ether Lords, and the Queen of Storms. I tried to summon Father Illerth. He's already here somewhere. Someone already has Pedocion. It is probably... I actually don't know. Because every other faction has blood access. In fact, every other faction has, I think, more blood access than I do. So, I don't know. And to be honest, strategically speaking, the best thing that I could do right now might be to turn and go hard against man. Because if I go hard against man, then I could actually win that war outright, probably. He's using a lot of large armies of kind of chaff, and of course he doesn't disease everyone who invades his dominion. So that I can deal with the... Even though I have fewer pearls, and so would have to deploy it more carefully, my pearl income is high enough that I could deploy the teleport master and slave tactic against his armies pretty effectively, especially because he has relatively little astral magic. He's got this throne over here, which is the throne of... One second, hold up. The throne of the Silver Throne. So he's got Adepts of the Silver Order. He can cast anti-magic pretty easily, but he can't... I don't think he has them everywhere yet. And he won't have huge numbers of them. So that's definitely a possibility. Like Tabrock the Soul Twister here, Astral 6, 4 slaves plus another guy with a Banner of the Northern Star, and he could time stop Master and Slave. So that could be worthwhile. We'll cast the Stellar Focus. That'll be fine. And then we'll just kind of see how things develop, I guess. We're gonna do at least a little bit of fighting against Satis here. And we've already gone in against Satis, so I can't really withdraw from that effectively. But what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that I can take that and maybe clean out these right here. Have a border with Lothric, and then let Lothric take the brunt of the fighting against Satis from that point. But if I can take these three provinces will give me a total of, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more gems per turn, and take that away from Satis. It's not enough to be a huge swing in the balance of power gem income-wise, but it's something. I'm also moving my armies to attack the Sea of Woe. He's got these troops down here raiding me. I'm not honestly all that worried about them. A lot of them are shrimp soldiers who can't come out of the water. I actually beat his Shark Tribe Tritons down there. But 20 of these guys are shrimp soldiers who can't come out of the water. 13 of them are Shark Tribe Tritons. He's got 2 Triton commanders. The only ones that can come out of the water are the sea trolls and troll guards. And what he's got up here, he's got water elementals led by Bethusma, the Queen of the Deeps, guarding his the Sea of Woe. But this actually has enough siege strength right here to knock down the walls in 2 turns, because his fort has 400 wall integrity. So I can knock down the walls there and bust in, and then it's going to be my 2 Sea Kings summoning water elementals versus his Sea Queen, Queen of the Deeps, plus potentially another Major 2 summoning water elementals. And my ace in the hole is I have a Soul Twister who will make everyone lucky by dropping Anti-Magic and then Will of the Fates. The Anti-Magic is just a delay while I get out some living water. In fact, I could actually not summon water. Well, I want to summon water power. So we'll get out at least 1 cast of living water, which will give me an extra 10 or so smaller water elementals. Then I'll make everyone lucky, and these guys will keep churning out living water as fast as they can, burning through their gems, which of course they generate. And yeah, I think that should enable me to take Sea of Woe. And in fact, I may be able to build up enough water gems to summon another Sea King and send him down there. That would be ideal, and I would give him a water bracelet. So if let me forge a 3rd water bracelet just in case, to make him water 4. And then I could send him down there and accomplish something that way. I actually have, I think, 10 gems on each of these guys. 20. I don't want to take their gems away from them because they might need them to attack if he's patrolling. It would be silly of him to be patrolling, but he might do it. So let's see. And then the Kidnids won't do well against water elementals, like, at all. But if they're lucky, they'll serve as chaff. If I make them lucky by casting Will of the Fates on them, they'll serve quite well as chaff, and they'll kind of slow the enemy down, and they'll prevent him from surrounding the sea trolls and beating them completely to hell, so that they'll be able to get their 20% regeneration. They'll be regenerating 10 hit points a round. That'll keep them alive, and so basically all these troops exist to die slowly enough that my water elementals can do the job. Summoning large water elementals would probably be valuable too. So I'll tell you what. The water bracelet doesn't make you breathe water, but what I could do is I could forge rings of water breathing. And if I mass produced... Well, I only have 1 water 2 mage here. 2. I could bring 2 more water 2 mages down there. I could even send Monomon. I wouldn't really want to send Monomon, because he's valuable. He doesn't need that, though. I could forge a ring of water breathing from Monomon, and that would let her get down there and add her water elemental summoning to the pile. That could be useful. Let's forge the water bracelet, and then let's forge a ring of water breathing. And we'll do that with a hammer that's not being used over here. Okay. So that'll leave me 20 some odd water gems. And then Monomon will be able to... and actually, let's forge a 2nd ring of water breathing. Yeah, let's bring down as many water mages as we can. So, rings of water breathing for everyone. Who else has a hammer that they're not using right at the moment? You do. Take that back. Take that hammer. So yeah, we're gonna bring down as much water elemental spam as we can. Now, the question here will be, will he realize what I'm doing, or will he move up here to attack me? Because he might take these troops and these guys and try to sandwich me. If he does, this army will fight his Water Queen and Water Elementals, and I think win. I believe that I'll be able to win that fight. If not, if he stays in there summoning Water Elementals, and this army moves down here, he won't be able to get back in time, because I will break that in 2 turns. So I'll move in, damage the walls, Next turn, if he sees what's happening and moves back, I'll break the walls and then be able to storm. So I think I'll be able to take this province here, which will be the Throne of Gaia. It has an Earth Gem, and then it also has another Earth Gem. So that'll be another 4 gems taken away. And hard to take back, because by taking that, I will also remove the location where he can summon Queens of Elemental Water, because I don't think he has labs built anywhere else underwater. And then I, of course, can use this location too. I can claim the Throne of Gaia, which will also shift Dominion spread a little bit, because right now, you can see, it'll give me more Dominion checks and him fewer. And it will enable me to... it's a lot of enemy Dominion there that I'll have to clear, but that'll be hard. But if I can do that, then that will also enable me to summon Queens of Elemental Water. Especially because this will kill Bethusma, so I might be able to get Bethusma myself. He has all 3 right now, I think, but we'll see what happens. In any case, that's the turn. I'm too tired to be doing a whole lot more this turn. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in turn 83.